What's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in. We have a really mellow show today as the week has been a little hectic on JR and I both. So we kind of sit back, crack a couple beers open, and start our morning off right, where we can relax and just bullshit. Later on, JR is going to tell a little story about his old days of drug smuggling. Here's a little excerpt out of that.
I'm guessing it was heroin, probably. Heroin's pretty popular on the inside, and that's when I got the talk. Son, that was drugs.
The rest of it's going to be filled with just nonchalant conversation from current events, stupid COVID, some police reform, or whatever sports we've got available. And before we get started, we have a couple affiliate mentions that we've got to let everybody know. Have you been interested in starting a podcast? Is it just difficult for you? Well, Buzzsprout is the place to go. They're the easiest, hands down. It's exactly what we've been using. All you need is a quiet space, some gear that you've already got, and if you want to upgrade, Buzzsprout has it. If you're interested in trying out your own podcast, use our affiliate link in our show notes and you will get a $20 Amazon gift card after your second invoice. Join us because there's already over 100,000 podcasters already using Buzzsprout. Are you tired of people dodging you in the post office, thinking you have COVID bubble surrounding you everywhere, and constantly trying to move out of people's way, breathing through your mask? Instacart is the answer. You can find the link at our website through our Facebook, and you can shop multiple stores, and they're available all over the place. Instacart highlights deals to help you save money. Instacart picks the freshest produce and even keeps your eggs safe too. With a delivery to your door in as fast as 1 hour, you don't even have to leave your home. This is the COVID way of shopping. This is the new answer, Instacart. And finally, our sponsors. We are sponsored today by Rosie Cooks out of the greater wine country in Northern California. Rosie Cooks, just an absolutely amazing company. They've ran their business successfully for 14 plus years now. Rosie Cooks was built around one woman's vision and driven by her passion for the culinary arts in almost every aspect. She literally takes the word cater to a whole new level in the way they create your menu. If you take your event personal, then Rosie Cooks is the no-brainer. The owner, Rosie, and her crew take it very personal and thrive off delivering that knockout service. Without a doubt, the first contact you need for any of your corporate events, your weddings, your concerts, your gourmet company packed lunches, your private parties, or your wine pairings. These are the people you need to contact. She's filled her team with members who match her passion for making their meals a grand experience no matter how it is served. So they are a true honest company that only wants the best for you and your event. You can follow them on Instagram or find them on Facebook real easy. Just search ROSEYCOOKS Rosie Cooks and be prepared to skim through some food porn, so don't go scrolling while hungry. Check them out. Tell them Eric sent you. www.rosiecooks.com. And finally, by Newness Productions, the company for all your photography and videography needs with By Fiance Films and Photography. Say goodbye to your fiance. Newness Productions, from wedding photography and films to commercials and promos. NEWNESSproductions.com. And for this morning's beer, we're going to be sipping on Mystic Haze IPA. Right out of San Francisco.
Anybody have any idea about who or what this is?
Tell them about the Twinkie.
What about the Twinkie?
Who you calling butthead? Butthead.
Y'all talking about? Y'all talking about me?
You take drugs, Danny? Every day.
This is ridiculous. It's crazy. I feel like I'm babysitting, except I'm not getting
I've
paid.
heard police work is dangerous.
It is. That's why I carry a big gun.
Aren't you afraid it might go off accidentally?
I used to have that
What
problem.
did you do about it?
I just think about baseball.
Declare.
Whose children is this?
Yeah,
So, well, thank you for bringing the beers.
no problem.
Because much needed right now. Yesterday was exhausting.
I'll bet.
This whole thing was exhausting. You got a date tonight.
I did.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Oh, no, what happened?
Yeah, she ghosted me.
I
Yes.
love that.
Yeah, me too.
It's my favorite thing.
Yeah,
This is a new thing right now.
I know, but whatever.
I'm sorry, man.
It's all right.
I don't envy you though, because like, how do you date right now?
Yeah, exactly.
How do you?
Trying to think of stuff to do. It's like, well, everything's shut down, so the way what we were gonna do is just hang out at a park, just meet at a park. I was gonna bring my dog. She's an excellent judge of character, so.
Yeah, dogs are. That's for sure. I ever tell you, our one dog, the only person. So let me back up a little bit. So we had this dog, and Australian Shepherd. She super sweet dog, cancer on the nose and everything, but lived full age. Only person she bit was at my little brother's birthday party. My dad had coworkers over. This one dude went up to pet her, and she just straight almost bit clean through his hand. And like, you have to quarantine the dog or something after like a bite like that.
Yeah.
And we were about to put her down because like that's what had my little brother. He was young. We couldn't deal. You just couldn't have him attack a kid.
Yeah.
So we were getting ready, I think, to put her down. I think there was more to it, but then my dad goes to work, and dude doesn't show up. And my dad's kind of like, hey, like, what's going on with the guy that dog bit? And coworkers are going, you didn't hear? Like, he pulled a gun on his wife and kid.
Oh, wow.
And he's in prison right now, waiting like trial or something like that, or in jail. And my dad called my mom, and he was like, untie her, from the pen. He's like, just let her out. He's like, she knew.
She was justified.
That's it. And he's the only person she ever bit. All the way through her old age.
Dogs are tripped like that, man. They can sense that about people.
Has yours ever done that?
No. We had Yogi. He just passed away last week,
right.
too.
Didn't you just post something, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man.
That's all right. Yeah, no, and he had a long. I mean, for a Mastiff, who was I think 11 and a half years old, 180-pound dog, and he's been having a really rough last couple months, and
sometimes it's just.
And it was a trip because he had to go to the bathroom, and usually he'll go into my room and wake me up, and I went and let him out, and then not even an hour later, my mom found him outside.
Oh no, he passed away like that. Oh, you didn't even have to. Bro, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
That's so hard. It's just like, I always joke around and I say, guys are dogs and men are cats, because dogs are just happy to see you, happy to play whenever, and women are more like, I'll be pet when I want to be pet.
Exactly.
Okay? But no, dogs are just it's hard. That's why we can't own another one.
I get that.
You have to like take a time out. And as many dogs as we want to go pick up and save, we can't.
See, I was like that for a while. Like, I'd take a break in between dogs, but then we started when a dog's kind of towards the end of its life, I'll get a puppy, so that old dog can teach the puppy.
Right.
And it kind of makes it.
Yeah.
I feel like I end up getting better dogs that way, because like I had Katie when I had Nala. Yeah. But if after Nala goes, man, yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, because they show them the way,
Yeah, exactly.
And after Nala though, I don't know if I can do it, because
we used to raise litters, and then we would sell the litters.
That's hard too.
Yeah, we typically would keep one. We had, I think we had at most like 4 dogs at one time. My wife had a ridiculous amount at one time. I think she had like 7.
Damn.
And the first thought was like, damn, your like dog food bill must be outrageous.
Right.
But no, having dogs is hard. They're
if you think about it, getting a dog is kind of like adopting a terminally ill child, because
they short term. It's gonna. I always think that too. Like so like there's a few dogs that I want to own, and I'm going to own, and as soon as we have a bigger property, I want to own either a Malamute or some sort of Husky branch.
Those crazy little bastards.
I think they're gorgeous dogs.
They are
I've
gorgeous.
always thought they're cool, but I've always thought to myself too, I want one in the right timeline. Like I want it in the right time of my life. Where I
exactly.
can go in the back of the truck. Like, let's go for a hike.
Yeah.
Let's go. Just constantly. I want a wrinkly. When I'm old, I think I want a wrinkly ass bloodhound. That's just super lazy.
Oh yeah.
And I've always wanted a Great Dane.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought that would be super cool. But they have my first thought with Great Danes is short-term life because they're so big.
Yeah.
I mean, what is it like? 9
like
years?
10, 12 years.
So, yeah.
Like max. My shepherd, I think she made it 13, but that last year was rough on her. Like I felt bad for not going in and putting her down sooner, but I couldn't bring myself to do it. I'd had her since she came out, but yeah, it's life.
I can't do little dogs anymore. Either.
I can't either, but there's one in particular that I want just because it's so
What's that?
fucking goofy looking. A Brussels Griffin.
A what?
A Brussels Griffin. They look like Animal from the Muppets. You gotta look them up sometime, dude. It's a goofy ass looking dog.
Brussels what?
Brussels Griffin.
Brussels Griffin.
I think it's a Brussels Griffin.
How do you spell that?
Like Brussels, BR, yeah.
Brussels.
L's, LS, and then Griffin. They're so damn ugly.
They're cute when they're little.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay.
But I saw one at a dog park when I was living in Sacramento one time, dude, and it looked just like Animal from the Muppets.
Oh yeah, you gotta do that where you shave it and have it looks like a
This
beard.
big old beard.
Just a massive beard. Like
Yeah.
a Viking beard.
Viking
Braid it,
beard.
Do a little braid.
With that underbite and everything.
Yes. Do a Ragnar braid or something.
Exactly.
On his little goatee. Yes.
My sister wants one hella bad. That one to the left. Down. That one, the black one right there.
Oh, the big eyes? Oh,
Yeah.
Crap, what do you got? There you go. That's terrifying. If I woke
Right?
up and that was staring at me in the middle of the night, I'd probably scream. That one's cute. That's pretty adorable.
Yeah. It looks like just a little pup.
It looks like these dogs remind me of The Simpsons because they have like the males have like those little beard.
Oh yeah,
you know,
right.
like, where they have like the beard.
Yeah, where their facial hair. Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah.
Right, so what's been up?
Not a whole lot, man. Just everything's just driving me crazy. This last couple of weeks has been so draining. Like I'm at the point where I just don't even want to pay attention anymore. It's like,
No, I hear you.
yeah.
I definitely hear you.
And then I'm just waiting for to wake up to the headline: Ghislaine Maxwell.
Oh, well, not until 2021.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. If she's dead, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was. Yeah.
That's a long time to put her off for trial.
Yeah.
A whole year.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty common from what I've heard. Like, they take a long time to go to trial, get their case built up, and then the defense attorney gets their time to make their case, and
It's plenty of time for everybody to forget about it.
mm-hmm, exactly.
Plenty of distraction.
And I know a lot of defense attorneys will do that. They drag stuff out, so the DA just gets overwhelmed with everything else that's going on. So by the time it comes up, it's like, oh, just get it over with.
I hear you because I'm emotionally and physically drained.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like working last night. It was nice because I was around a bunch of people. I bring a mask with me everywhere I go. I'm getting a little over everybody. I get it. I get the we're all trying to be respectful. But like I went into the post office and I accidentally left my mask, and I walk in to go to my P.O. box, and this girl's walking by me, and she does one of these like dodges a little, like moves out of my bubble, and I just thinking like, Jesus, like
Some people are straight up terrified.
oh my
Terrified.
God. But that's not uncommon. That happens to me in the grocery store with masks on. Like people like dodge out of your way. It's so stupid.
Yeah, and like even at the check stand, like I give people their own space just because it was a few weeks ago. I started putting my stuff on the belt. It wasn't right up close to this lady's stuff, but it was on there at the same time.
Uh-huh.
She just acted like She just was like so terrified that my stuff was next to her stuff.
At Safeway, they won't let you put your stuff up until they prompt you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just don't even do it anymore anyway. I'll just back up.
I'm over it. Oh, so back to what I was saying. So, I worked last night, and it was nice because I get to the venue, and the venue manager's like has her mask on, and she's doing that one thing where she's like has her hands cupped, and she's like, "Is there anything I can help you with?" And I'm like, "No," and I go to like move, and she like backs away a little bit, and she's like keeping the distance for real. And then, anyways, the people I work for, everybody that shows up, everybody's just treating it normal. You know, they had masks there, but not a single person was wearing them, and I had mine around my wrist just in case. And everybody had a good time, so it was nice because it was like a mental breather.
A little bit of a break.
You know, I got to my car. I did the whole. I got my Lysol, not the Lysol, the hand sanitizer, and just be safe. You know.
Yeah.
Because even my mom, I'm talking to my mom, and she's like, "How many people are gonna be there?" And I told her, and she's like, "Be safe. Use a lot." You know. And I'm like, all right. You know, I get that it's real. But man, and then I notice as I'm walking through the crowd of people, it's all everybody's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, all the rules are. You just hear like little snippets, you know, and all the rules are mandated this, and then you hear another person. None of them make sense, and then it's like, God, can we just everybody stop for a second?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going on these sports websites, you know, I'm trying to find like, is there anything new? It's all.
That's
COVID.
all it is, or all protests. It's like I used to watch ESPN for background, like when I'm working out, like running on the elliptical or something. Now I don't even watch it. I don't even turn the TV on.
I feel like we're all prisoners, to be honest.
I feel like we're in a South Park episode.
Well, I agree, but I definitely feel like we are prisoners, and we're just like you're trapped here, and we're forced to everybody listen and focus because I don't know what we're focusing on. I mean, did you hear that COVID is supposed to be we're supposed to be on a super low dip as soon as the heat wave comes in?
Yeah, I heard they were talking about that like in April though.
Yeah. You know,
Yeah.
what's the weather today? Isn't it supposed to be like in the hundreds?
Yeah.
And we're at the peak of COVID.
Yeah.
So they were wrong about that.
Definitely.
But we all need to be wearing it.
Well, I mean, with that, I mean, all you gotta, yeah. But with the heat, the whole heat argument. I mean, just look at what happened in the Middle East with MERS. Whenever that was going rampant over there, it's like 120 degrees over there all the time, and the virus was still spreading.
No,
and
I know.
running,
I'm just saying, like, we're listening to the same people that told us this was supposed to be the lowest because of the heat, and that this virus is at its peak in cold weather. And here we are in the hottest temperature, and we're at the peak, still shutting down. Yeah, we're still listening.
Well, you know, and I went down that whole rabbit hole with the created in a lab scenario.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I just,
remember you saying
started having a revelation this week about how all the contradictory information kind of makes sense if it did come out of a lab, because that would mean that they don't know what this virus is going to do in the long run. So they're trying to stop it. They don't want to admit that it came out of a lab, because at that point it's like, oh, so with these level 4 labs, we're just one accident away from a global pandemic. Then everybody's going to cry to shut down the labs, and they're going to stop being able to do their research. Yeah. So they don't want to admit it came from a lab. They don't know what it's going to do, so they're getting all this contradictory information out there. And which, to me, if that's true, that's scarier, because that virus will just keep evolving and mutating as time goes on, and there's no telling what it would do 2 years from now.
Well, people are saying, I'm getting so frustrated, and this is, again, it's like what you were saying, contradicting information. You start doing the research, and again, we're listening to the same people that said this is supposed to be sensitive to heat and at the lowest, you know, and now they're saying people with COVID have heart issues or being, they find clots in their system, you know, so it's doing like more damage further than we know.
Yeah.
I just don't even know what to believe anymore, to be honest. I just don't, even if I'm reading that or hearing that, where is it coming from? And is it coming from anything? I just,
exactly. No, I hear exactly what you're saying.
Everything. I think that's what's exhausting about this.
Yeah, it's because you don't know what to believe anymore.
No,
and it's
I
got
don't
me. I'm literally on the verge of just deactivating my Facebook.
Oh, I'm ready.
And just being off, just unplug.
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
If it wasn't for memes, I would have done it a long time ago.
Oh my god, I barely go on unless it's like to post an article or pictures of my kids or whatever. But like even just pulling it up today was depressing. I want to know, like, so I looked up the suicide rates, and I think it's like 132 suicides are average. I think that was 2018's statistics. I was trying to find them last night. Can't find anything on 2020 yet.
I've seen
keep hearing that they're up.
Yeah, that's what I saw. I saw something about some California doctors were saying that the suicide rate is way higher than it normally is.
I remember it was like 4 times this week. They said this week was 4 times the amount that's typical. Was something I can't remember where, but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
and I was trying to find the numbers because I don't understand what we're not talking about that. Because that's
right.
Everything's a panic. Everything's super panicky right now. Again.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people are just going, "Hey, F you, we're going out."
Yeah. Did you see that thing I sent you about San Joaquin County's what was it? Revised restrictions for dine-in restaurants?
Oh, well, it's all over now.
Oh, is it?
Isn't it? What is it? Outdoors?
Yeah, outdoors. But appetizers don't count as a sit-in meal. Like a lot of these bars, that's all that they serve is appetizers and stuff like that. But they're saying, no, those don't count. You got to have an actual entree, like burger and fries or a steak or something like that. But serving calamari doesn't count as a meal.
When I have my buddy back on, I'm gonna pick his brain politically. Because I'm like ready to explode with questions and frustrations and on a rant about all that kind of shit, stupid laws like that, and I need answers. You know, I want answers from somebody who's integrated into the system.
Exactly.
And,
yeah. He'd be able to tell you.
I want to know, like, what in the fuck? You know, like, what? Are you kidding me? And I want to ask him specifically, you got to tell me, like, that's volunteers writing those bills. I hope we're not paying for that type of bullshit.
Exactly.
I want to know.
Because it seems like the people that are making these rules and regulations are so fucking out of touch that it's mind-blowing.
I saw somebody post something. It was like, right? There's people making these points on Facebook constantly. And one of them was because most schools are shut down, you know, for the first quarter at the very least. And this one person posted, if you're holding a meeting via video chat on whether or not you should reopen schools, don't you think that kind of says, gives you, she's like, doesn't that kind of give you the answer?
Yeah.
Like, we shouldn't.
I don't know. I'm getting really worried we're not going to get any football this year.
That's it. I want to talk to you about that. Yeah, let's shift gears because again, I keep going to NFL news, and that's all I keep reading. Is like here, right? Russell Wilson. It was one of the headlines. It's Russell Wilson. It's J.J. Watt. It's Drew Brees, Malcolm Jenkins. I mean, all these dudes are they're all chiming in and concerned that the NFL has disregarded what they've requested as far as safety regulations.
Yeah, and I saw something else too, that they have it put in to where if a player tests positive for COVID, they get moved to the non-football related injury list, so the teams don't have to pay them for that time that they're sitting out with COVID. So they're trying to hash that out right now too. A lot of players are pissed off about that. Because, I mean, it doesn't make sense if, let's say, okay, you're going to put them in a compromising situation to make their paycheck and they're going to get sick. Well, you should still pay them. It's a football-related injury at that point. Because if they weren't out playing football, they probably wouldn't have gotten the virus.
No, that's true. Good point.
Yeah.
No, it's a good point.
But then this thing I saw this morning, who was it? This Tom Pellis, this radio guy, analysts, GMs have flat out told me, I don't even want our players, coaches in the building. We are not set up for this. We don't even have enough answers. We can't move forward at this time. You guys have had more time to get ready for your season than any other sports league.
Did you see the Oakley thing that I posted on the Morning Brew Facebook?
I don't think so.
Where they have the face shield?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Where it's like a ventilate. But look, the deal is, it's football.
Yeah. You're still...
I am wrestling you to the ground.
Uh-huh.
Like, what? You're going to touch somebody.
Yeah.
If we have people dodging you at the post office, like, ugh.
Right.
Like, your bubble's going to touch them. They're going to I mean, if one of them has it, they're going to give it to each other.
It's going to be the highest
They're gonna
statistical
contract
offensive year for the whole NFL because no one's going to want to tackle anybody with the ball.
I don't know.
It's great.
Well, I know that the Bengals just finally did a deal with AJ Green 1 year, but they gave him $18 million on a year that we don't even know if it's going to happen.
Right? Yeah, that's crazy.
So then what happens to those guys? So say we don't have a year. What happens to those guys' contracts? Say that your contract up?
They get deferred. They defer the contract to
Are
the
you
year
sure?
over. I'm not
Because
100% sure.
Some of those contracts probably specifically state as of 2021, your contract is up and you're a free agent. So,
Yeah.
and is that another reason why these teams are pushing to go forward? Is because they're contractually obligated to pay them?
That's a good point. Yeah, I could
Whether
totally
or
see
not.
that. Yeah. I mean,
I
yeah, that
know
makes sense.
People like you and me, we want it back. I was literally, just before you showed up, I had a Packers Eagles game from 2010 on, and it was just like the sound of it. I was like, oh.
Right?
I was like, where's the beer?
Right.
Where's the beer? Just the sound of it.
It's like the other day I saw the NFL replay of the Seahawks-Niners Monday night game. It was a Monday or Thursday night game last year, that nail-biter right at the end. I don't even like either one of those teams, but I was so stoked to watch that game again.
Any game right now.
Any game.
Any game.
Fuck, I'd almost watch the Chiefs right now, but
Almost.
Almost.
That's probably still a little sore, huh?
It is. Just to even say almost.
I'm going to have to say, when I was watching that, like I said, when the Niners are in it, I root for them. However, I can't say that I rooted for them in that game. From the start.
I didn't root for anybody. I had never been more conflicted for a Super Bowl in my life.
I wanted the Chiefs to get it. They haven't had it in so long.
I know. It could have been. They should have went a lot longer though. But that's just my personal opinion.
It's kind of like if I ever saw a Dallas New England game, I would just root for the stadium to collapse.
Right. Root for a meteor.
I'm kidding. I'm not rooting for his fucking death.
Well, a few years ago, a friend of mine turned me on to this new Super Bowl tradition, to where if there's two teams playing in the Super Bowl you cannot stand, just go to Six Flags. It's empty. There's no one there. Yeah.
Well, it's not like it's not like you're not gonna re-see the.
Yeah, but the year that we went was the year that the Falcons shit the bed and the Patriots came all the way back.
God,
so I missed that. But you know what I did see while I was at Six Flags? Hell of Patriots fans. It's like, dude, your team's in the Super Bowl and you're not even going to go. Yeah, there was a lot of Patriots jerseys.
And they're not fans.
They're not, no.
And they're not fans.
I'm sorry, Patriots supporters.
That's right.
Yeah.
I wonder how many people just decided to jump on that bandwagon. I mean, they had a long...
My little sister.
Really?
Yeah.
Is she a Pats fan now? Or was
she was a Raider fan.
Is she a Bucks fan now?
No, she said she's sticking with New England. But she could be saying that just because as soon as there were rumors about Tom Brady leaving, I started giving her shit.
We'll see.
I just reminded her she can't ever come back to the Raiders since she already left them. So, you made that choice. You got to stick with it.
It's true. I'm waiting for basketball. I'm waiting for the NBA season, but nothing there.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just every time I look for anything, it's just again all COVID related. I'm getting so tired, man. I don't even know what to talk to you about.
Right.
I really don't. I mean, it's all either COVID related or Epstein related. We're all forced to watch the news. Trying to work, shutting down. I don't get this. I don't get any of it. Like I said, I can I can go to a protest tonight, right?
Yeah.
I can throw beer cans and shit at cops or all night that are trying to defend a statue, or I can go burn shit around a statue, tear one down all night with my fellow protesters, right?
Mm-hmm. But you can't go to a baseball game.
Nope. No, not better yet. My wife, she can't go to work though.
Yeah.
Because if she goes to work, she's going to be around people and she might contract something. Got it.
Yeah. It's almost, I'm starting to think that whole narrative of the protests is okay is that they're afraid to tell people, oh, you can't exercise your First Amendment. That they're so afraid of trying to quell that they think that it'll get even worse if they do. I'm not saying that I support it. I'm just saying I'm trying to fathom what the fuck is going through their heads.
I get that there's a movement. I get that there's something that needs to happen, but we've got to put food on the table.
Yeah.
And we obviously we can't rely on the politicians to uphold anything.
Never could.
Unemployment shit is so up and down. People are granted it, denied it. They're left and right. But like I said, my wife can't go to work because she will be around other people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get this mentality. I am almost to the point where, me personally, in my opinion, I'm encouraging business owners to fucking protest. Stand up.
Right.
Leave your doors open and say, fuck you.
Come shut us down.
Shut that down and we'll shut down.
Yeah.
We'll all shut down together. We stand united or we don't. You know, because that's bullshit. Because again, I can't put food on my table, but I can go out and protest.
Mm-hmm.
I can go out and burn shit all night. I can go out and spray paint.
Yeah.
I can tag a bunch of shit. I can do these things. I can stand shoulder to shoulder with these people.
Masks or no masks.
No. So let people open them. And then you know what? If you go out voluntarily, let the cards fall.
Mm-hmm.
You know, let them. Oh, I'm getting frustrated, man.
You're not the only one.
I'm getting so frustrated, and businesses are getting frustrated.
Yeah.
Some of them are just going, towels in, we're done until there's a vaccine. We're not opening.
Mm-hmm.
The open show stuff, it's just doesn't work for us.
No, it doesn't. How can you keep a business open if you don't even know if you're going to be allowed to open a week later?
I'm sick of it all. I'm sick of the hypocrisy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sick of the fact that an 8-year-old girl was shot by a protester, probably on accident,
mm-hmm.
but still by a wild protester, and it's all being buried. You don't hear it. You don't see it. And again, if it didn't come from a cop's gun,
yeah,
it doesn't matter, right?
But they don't want to talk.
It doesn't matter. Her life doesn't matter.
No, that's
fucking terrible.
Ridiculous.
If that was my kid. The father's out here putting up money for a reward for any information, and it's all hush hush right now.
Yeah.
Because if it goes out, if it becomes something massive, public, or publicly massive, then all of a sudden it's against what they're doing. Because again, the bullet didn't come from a cop's gun or anybody they can blame to help their movement or whatever you want to call it. It's all bullshit. Fucking little girl was shot.
Yeah. And you're hearing nothing about it.
Nothing.
It's just the way the media spins shit. You know what I've noticed a lot about these clips that I'm seeing? Because when the stuff first started kicking off, I saw cops beating the shit out of people, and I'm thinking, man, these guys are just trying to exercise their First Amendment. That's fucked up. Police brutality ain't fucking cool. But then the more and more stuff you see, you're starting to realize, I'm seeing these clips with no context given.
Right.
What happened the 15 minutes prior to that?
Right.
Just like this morning, or yesterday, I saw something about the statue of Columbus. I can't remember where exactly it was at. But there's video of protesters throwing bricks and shooting fireworks at the cops who were surrounding the statue. And then this morning, I see another headline about this, how this lady was assaulted by this cop because he fucking cold clocked her. They show the video of her getting punched, but what they don't show is some reporter came forward and said, "Hey, I was there. I saw what was happening. Right. She was swinging on that cop." You see the clip start right when he swings back.
Yeah. No. That's what they probably told the reporter.
Yeah.
We're gonna edit that part out.
Yeah. Well, I think he was independent, so no, he's on those message boards and stuff saying, "Hey, no, that's not what happened."
That's what I mean, though. Is before you pass something around, ask that question. Be like,
look into it. Yeah. Well, it's like the other day I saw something that I thought was so ridiculous, and reading, I didn't think it was ridiculous at first. It got me. It was one of those headlines you see where you're just instantly like, "Oh my God, that's fucking terrible." Mm-hmm. And it was 12 white girls found in a freezer with black light BLM tagged all over them.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's what I said. It's like, oh my God, how come I didn't hear about that? That's some serious shit. So I start Googling it and start looking into it. Turns out that same story, word for word, has popped up on Facebook since 2016. 2017 it popped up, 18, 19, here we are at 20.
Really?
It's blatantly fake news.
Oh,
so the person who posted it, I posted that link to exposing it. I looked at other ones too to make sure I wasn't, misinformed.
You're not a sheep.
Yeah, and I said, hey, turns out this story's been popping up for the last 4 years, like clockwork, word for word. This isn't true. Fake news strikes again. I wasn't bashing that person at all or anything. I was just, because if I see something fake on Facebook or if I find out it's fake, I'm calling it out every single time because this disinformation spreading needs to fucking stop.
Yeah, no, and that's why I look at people's comments when I see articles like that, because I want to see, okay, is anybody going to say bullshit?
Yeah.
So go ahead.
But what happened next, it made me just want to give up. Because after I pointed that out and provided my source saying, hey, this is a fake story, that person's response was, yeah, but it's sad either way. To which I replied, true, but thankfully it did not happen. But it's like, well, yeah, it's sad, but it's fiction.
Right.
Like, what? Yeah. I'm done.
Right.
I'm just done. You just can't get through to some people.
Most books are sad, too.
And I mean, I could have been reading that out of context. She'd be like, well, that's still something terrible. Well, yeah, it is, but, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre was also terrible. Right. But that did happen, didn't it?
No, shit, that did happen.
That did. Okay, that's a terrible example.
A very bad
Jeepers Creepers was horrible.
There we go. That was a good jump.
Yeah.
Safe. Yeah, I forgot. Jesus. Texas Chainsaw was real.
Yeah.
That's right. Did you ever see that extra footage?
No. You know what?
Where the sheriff...
You're going to hate me.
Walkthrough?
You're going to hate me.
No.
I've never seen it.
You've never seen any of them?
Nope. Nope. I'm not big on horror.
I'm not big... I'm big on classic horror. I like classic...
Same. Like Freddy and Jason, stuff like that.
Some of those... There's a few that are more modern that I really dig, but they're very subtly terrifying.
Yeah.
I like those. I like The Shining. The Shining's one of those. Oh, I remember I was a kid, right? We lived in this modular home, and I'm walking down the hall because I hear this music, and that's The Shining is so well known for its music throughout the entire film. And that's what's part of the just terror. Mm-hmm. So, looking down, right, and I come down the hall and I turn to the TV, this giant tube TV that we had, and my dad's watching this movie, and it's the scene where Danny. Have you seen the movie?
It's been a long time. I saw it when I was a kid.
The classic scene, right, where he's standing in the hall and he sees the twins.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the flashes of the elevators and blood just coming through. And that's the scene I walk in on. And I'm like 5, I think. I think I'm like
traumatized.
5 or 6. And I'm like, oh! So when I got older and I watched it, I literally had to take a break. I was like, fuck, this movie's terrifying, Everything else, blood, guts, gore, not a big deal. I more look at it as movie magic, and I'm like, it's kind of, that takes me out of it. But mentally, when something's mentally like that, oh, that messes with me.
I can relate to, I think I was about the same age, and I walked in on my dad watching Predator.
Okay.
Way back in the day.
can see
And
that.
I remember being a kid and having a reoccurring nightmare of Predator chasing us. Like, I remember driving in my uncle's car and looking behind in the rearview mirror, and there's this fucking Predator running after the car. I was little, man, but that shit got me. Like,
I could see that.
yeah.
I could definitely see that.
You know what other movie got me too? I didn't realize it until the other day and someone brought it up, but fucking Signs.
Signs was terrifying.
It was terrifying, dude. But it was so terrifying. I didn't realize this, but ever since I watched that movie when it came out,
Signs is still terrifying. If I showed my kids Signs,
oh,
they
they
would not sleep well tonight.
They would not be going outside whenever it's dark.
Not
be
doing any
constantly
porn.
looking at the roof.
Yes.
You know what I did after I saw it, and I didn't even realize that that's the reason why I've been doing it for so many years. But I saw that movie in theaters when it came out. Ever since then, I cannot go to sleep without a cup of water next to my bed.
That's weird.
That is weird as fuck.
That's weird.
Well, I mean now it's
You afraid of aliens coming?
yeah. I actually had a dream the
I
other
am
night.
too.
I actually had a dream the other night because I've been going down this huge UFO rabbit hole lately, and I had a dream that aliens were trying to break into the house. I sleep with my fucking window open.
A lot of alien stuff's been kind of happening.
And I've personally seen a couple of UFOs.
No.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, I
what?
swear by it.
Yeah?
Yes.
Where?
In Galt and in
Okay.
Harold. There's only 2 instances when I saw them. One was the very common triangle-shaped UFO. If you look it up, it appears all over California, southern Nevada, like this whole area. I say UFO, I'm not saying aliens, because it's unidentified. We don't know what the fuck it is.
Unidentified flying object.
But it was the one that's shaped like a triangle.
Okay.
And it was flying so low and so fucking fast and no sound. And my buddy Farrell was standing right next to me when we saw it. We both looked up and like, holy fuck. Like it went...
Did you watch the footage on that too?
Yeah.
On one of them doing that? Yeah.
It's crazy.
Crazy stuff lately.
But, no, so I was having that dream. And right in the middle of that dream, I get woken up to the cat screaming bloody murder and jumping in my window and knocking my curtain off of the wall.
Probably terrified the shit out of you.
Yeah, me, the dog. I had 2 dogs on the bed. They start barking and getting all fucking scared. And
See, I think I would sleep like a baby if I had 2 giant dogs.
so, you know, my 2 giant dogs are babies too, and they're scared of everything.
But then they would bark.
Yeah, but they let you know.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, you see, I think that's what terrifies me. It isn't dealing with a situation. It's being half asleep in the middle of a situation.
Exactly.
I think that's what terrifies me the most.
Yeah.
So if I had giant dogs, like what you're saying, we're just like, whoa, whoa, you know, and woke
Gives
you
you
up.
a heads up.
Yeah,
Something's going
it
on.
perks you up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know. So, anyways, where did we go? Where was that subject? This beer's kicking in. It's good.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't even. What did you get? Mystic Haze,
IPA.
citrusy Calypso hops. Is that what's the brewery here?
Should say
Goodbeer.com.
yep, good beer. San Francisco, California. Oh, Speakeasy Ales and Lagers.
Out of San Francisco?
Yep.
This came out of San Francisco?
Yep.
Good job, San Francisco. You did something right this year.
Right?
This isn't bad.
It's about damn time.
I mean that with love, you guys, because like San Francisco, I really do. Well, I did like going there.
Same here. I used to love going to San Francisco back in the day, dude.
I don't want to talk about this shit anymore.
Yeah.
So over the COVID.
Same.
But it's just everywhere.
I think that's why I started jumping into the UFO shit. 'Cause I
Yeah.
needed a break, and that's always I mean, I'll dabble, go down that rabbit hole every once in a while, but I haven't done it in a long time. So there's a lot of stuff to get caught up on. And
my wife and I recently just recorded a test one. We did like a little date night. And we started talking about UFOs, and I had asked her like, "What's more terrifying to you? Would it be more terrifying that UFOs were coming? Say they were like coming, right? And it's like T-minus 9 months before their arrival. We see them coming, type of thing. Would it be more terrifying the unknown of what they are and what their plan is or their purpose for arriving here, or would it be more terrifying what we would do, like what we would do on accident or trigger something or want to dissect and disrespect and cross boundary? You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
I know what you mean. Yeah, what
we
would
ignite
humans
war,
do? Yeah,
basically. or
which we would not win.
would we approach them as a possible threat in their?
Oh, absolutely.
eyes or perspective?
Our government already considers them a threat just for the same fact that they don't know what the fuck they are.
And if we've captured them, say we have, and we've had them for that long, or we have them hidden, and they were to find out or know about that, don't you think they'd be a little pissed?
Probably.
So,
I could imagine.
So what about you? Would you be more terrified of them or us?
I'm more terrified of them.
Than us?
Because what I'm looking at is, why the hell are you coming here in the first place? Why would you go through all that problems of traveling so far? And I watched a documentary. It was a while ago I watched this, but it was about our government's declassified plans for in case an invasion happened. And their general consensus is the reason why they would come is, let me ask you, what do you think the rarest item in the universe is? What's the rarest thing that we know of?
Space.
Life. Life. This is the only planet that we've ever discovered life on. I mean, resource speaking, like water, everything else. That's out there. There'd be no reason to travel hundreds of thousands of light years to come to Earth for the water. But for the life, if you're trying to harvest proteins, if we're an agricultural product, that's what terrifies me. But
I don't know, man.
either way, we're screwed. If they were to come down tomorrow and swear to be benevolent, I'd trust them about as much as I trust our politicians. You know what I mean?
It's just crazy, man.
Yeah.
I'm over all of it. Oh shit! Did you hear about this?
What's that?
Florida, man. We're gonna have to cut that out.
3 friends killed on a fishing trip? No, I have not heard about this.
Okay, so I'm gonna read this, right? And I want you to listen to this, and you tell me what you think. 3 Florida men were fatally beaten. This is from, alright, so I probably should read who this is from. USA Today. 3 Florida men were fatally beaten and shot while on their way to a fish in a remote area late Friday night, according to Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd. During a media briefing near the scene on Lake Streety Road on Saturday morning, Judd identified the victims as Damien, 23, Kevin, 30, and Brandon, 27. So, like mid to late 20s. 3 men had been friends for years. Judd said, adding the families of the victims gave police permission to release their names. Judd, who has worked at the department since 1972, described the killings as a massacre. This is a horrific scene, Judd said Saturday. I have been to a lot of murder scenes in my life, and this ranks among the worst. According to the preliminary investigation, Judd said just after 10 p.m. Friday, Rollins called his dad on his cell phone and said, "Help." Judd said Rollins' father knew his son was fishing with 2 friends and drove to Lake Streety Road. Upon arriving at the scene, Rollins found his son barely alive and his 2 friends both dead. Judd said Rollins was able to say a few things to his dad before he died, which the sheriff's office didn't release at the morning briefing. Judd said it appeared that Tillman arrived first in his red pickup truck, and that while he was being killed, Rollins and Springfield arrived in a white pickup truck and also were shot. In Brandon's father's excitement to run to help his son, he forgot his cell phone at home, so now he is out in the middle, as you can see, of no place without any communication. Judd said the father drove back to the nearest convenience store to call 911 and said, "My son needs help." A 17-year-old girl, the daughter of the convenience store's owner, jumped into Rollins' father's vehicle, and the 2 drove back to Lake Streety Road, Judd said. By the time authorities arrived, Rollins had died of his injuries. These folks appear to be beaten and shot. We are seeking leads. We need help so we can solve this crime sooner rather than later, Judd said. So anyways, basically they're offering a $5,000 reward for any information of the capture.
That's crazy.
Anything in that story stand out to you?
No, I mean...
Alright, so I went through this story, right, as a father.
Uh-huh.
I want you to go back. We're going to go back here. As a father, this says... First of all, forgetting his cell phone seems to me to be a real fucking stupid mistake if your son needs help.
Especially considering his son just called him and said help. So at some point...
if you're at the race to go see him, you think you'd want to be in communication.
'Cause...
Or to call 911 if there's some serious help. If my son called me for help like that, and he's in his late 20s, and I'm just going off of me, okay?
Yeah.
So that stuck out to me. Secondly, the father went out to see his son and stated that both the two friends were already dead, right? But his son was bleeding, injured, and needed help, right? And then he left the son to go drive to the convenience store to 911. Bullshit.
No, you take your son with you.
Exactly what I thought. My son's bleeding and talking to me.
I'm taking him with me.
I fucking throw his ass in the truck.
Exactly.
Because my ass can get either to an EMT or to an ambulance faster. Especially if you don't have a fucking phone.
Yeah, no, that's... See, I can see forgetting the cell phone.
That's where I went bullshit.
I can see forgetting the cell phone if, say, because we don't know if he called the landline or something at the house. Like my grandparents, they have cell phones, but they never use them. They use the old school phone at the house.
Right.
I could see that. But leaving your son to pretty much die...
That's fishy right there.
That's fishy.
That's super fishy. I don't like it. I'm not saying that the guy did anything wrong. Maybe he was in a panic and he just...
That's
went
true. He could have
total
just been
stupid
panicked.
Mode.
Yeah, because people do that.
But I'm sorry. So here's a story. My son, my oldest son, has ADD or some sort of attention. Sorry, some sort of attention order. And we were testing him. He was seeing a therapist, and we were testing him on some narcotics, I guess you would call them. And one of them, we were at the park in the city, and my son says, "I gotta go to the bathroom." And he's I think 11 years old at the time. I'm like, okay. So I'm watching my other son on the swing, and all of a sudden somebody's like, "Hey, he needs help," and my oldest son is laying flat on the concrete, face first.
The fuck?
Pale. And he was on this new round of medication that he was on, and he was just like so out of it. So I picked him up, picked my son up, threw him in the car, and I was calling 911 at the time, and they had said something about their units were fully dispatched, or something like that at the time, and they were asking his symptoms and if I could just take him to his local doctor, and I was like, what the fuck? I was like, my son was like flopping over, almost purple, like he literally was almost purple, and I had no time for it.
That's fucking crazy.
So I threw him in the truck, and I was like, I'm gonna call an ambulance or somebody on the way and see if we can, meet. And I just drove as fast, as safe as I could, flashing my lights, and I was like, I knew the route. It was a straight shot to the hospital where he goes, because they were also saying something about he would need to be taken to his ER or something. I was just like, what
the fuck?
So yeah, I was like, all of it sounded like bullshit to me, and arguable bullshit, and I just didn't have any time for it, and nobody was coming to help, so I had to make a decision.
Yeah.
So I raced his ass to the hospital. I didn't leave him at the park to go not call 911.
Yeah.
What the fuck? But then my last thought was to leave him. My very last thought was to leave him. I was not leaving him.
Yeah,
like there was no way. Anyways,
that's crazy.
That story, I want to follow it because I want to know. First of all, I mean, a massacre. That's pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
But that really seemed interesting.
Well, they say massacre, but then they say beaten and shot.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know. It just happened. When? Friday, they said. So, a few days ago. It's crazy, man.
I think technically a massacre is more than 10.
Yeah.
But no, that is crazy. I mean, then again, people get distressed, and like you said, they go full stupid mode. Yeah. And it is Florida, so he could just be permanent full stupid mode.
It's true. It's Florida, man.
It's Florida.
that Florida. Oh man, yeah. This shit's crazy, buddy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's crazy times we live in, for sure.
I know that you're quite the experienced drug smuggler. I heard. So I need to know.
I haven't done that in a long time.
No, it's been a while. Huh?
It's been.
I think we're past the statute of limitations. We can.
Oh, definitely. Well, you know that in this country that someone of the age of 7 and under cannot be legally held accountable for any crimes, because the mental capacity to commit a crime cannot be. It's not there. By definition. That being said.
Okay, so you smuggle drugs into prison?
Okay, let's back up a little bit, because when you say it like that, make it sound like my dad was having me mule shit in there. No. So
nobody said your dad. Jeez, man, you're incriminating yourself.
I am. Shit.
No, drink a little bit more.
Yeah. Okay, hold on.
This is getting good. Now we're starting to get some real answers.
All right, so anybody listen to the last podcast know I talked about my dad being locked up for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I'm like 6, 7 years old. I was really little, and my mom would take us to go visit my dad once a week, just to keep us in touch with him. And I think we were in Tracy, and we were just, me and my little sisters, just being little kids, bored, waiting. We're just walking around, having our way around the waiting room, just trying to find shit to keep us occupied.
Mm-hmm. What prison was this?
Tracy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, you said that, didn't you?
Yeah, that's all right.
It's the beer.
Yeah.
It's
fucking IPAs, man. How many percentage is this?
7.5. It's not
7.1.
Yeah, 7.1.
Nice.
All right.
Anyhow.
So Tracy,
playing around by the change machine that they had out front, because you can buy snacks and stuff while you're waiting in there. And I see this little pink, looks like a little bouncy ball. It's like this little balloon tied up in a ball. And my 7-year-old brain is like, oh, cool, it's a little ball.
Right.
And I'm in the waiting room bouncing this thing off the floor in front of the guards. I'm playing with this little ball. Nobody was paying any attention to me at all. My mom she didn't even know I had it. She didn't realize it. And well, to her credit too.
Your mom's so sweet though.
I know, and she had 2 other little kids that were under the age of 5. She was trying to.
I'm sure she heard.
And I'm pretty sure my littlest sister was like around 2 at the time, so she was real little. So I get past the metal detectors, go on the bus, go to the visiting area, and I'm sitting in the visiting area of the prison playing with this little ball that I found. And my dad spots me with it, and he said, "What the fuck?" And at this point, I never heard him drop an F-bomb. This is the first time I heard him drop an F-bomb. "What the fuck? Where did you get that?" And I told him, "Behind the change machine in the waiting room." He's like, "Stay here and don't look at me." He picked it up, and I looked at him, of course. He walked way far away, dropped it in a trash can, and came back to me, and that's when I got the talk. "Son, that was drugs. Do you know what drugs are?"
What did you know what it was specifically? Did you ever find out?
I'm guessing it was heroin, probably. Heroin's pretty popular on the inside, from what my dad was telling me from his experiences in there.
Did Dad ever tell you any wild ass stories?
Oh yeah, he told me a couple. My dad was the inmate that would write up the guards every chance he got. Huh. He went and studied law books while he was in there. And anytime the guards would try something funny, he was the one right there writing it down and sending it up to the chain of command.
So they loved him.
Oh, they loved him. Well, so when you're in prison, you have certain jobs, right? It's almost like the union. You're cleared to do this one job. You can't do this other job. So they're real strict about that kind of stuff. Yeah. So my dad's working in the metal shop, and this guy comes in, one of the guards comes in and says, "Guess what? You guys are going up there and you're going to paint those pipes today." And my dad said, "Well, I'm in here to work on the metal shop. I'm not here to paint." And, "Well, I'm going to write you up, Rogers. Go ahead. I'm going to write you up." My dad wrote him up. Never got asked to paint anything ever again.
Fair enough, man. Jesus. That's funny.
Yeah.
Little drug smuggling.
He was always doing stuff like that, though. He was telling me one time, this one guard was, because after you came back from visit, they would do the check. They want you to open up your mouth, make sure you don't got anything in your mouth, and they want you to bend over and spread your cheeks. Make sure you're not, keistering nothing. Right. Well, this one guard thought it'd be funny to have everyone spread their ass cheeks, then put their hands in their mouths to show that they were clear. and he absolutely refused. Like, I'm not touching my asshole. Huh?
Little reindeer game.
Yeah. He said that they tried to play that shit all the time, but he would laugh at, like, I'm just gonna write you up, man. And he did. He refused to do it that time. They ended up taking him, and like, they didn't beat him or anything like that, but he got in trouble for refusing to follow that order. But then it got up to the warden. He's like, you were wanting them to do what?
I just don't understand, like, why anybody wants to afflict that type of power and put that type of spotlight on.
Well, it all goes back to the type of people that get into those positions.
No, it doesn't matter. Like, I just don't understand the urge to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when I was arrested, you know, it was like, I'm gonna just lay low.
Yeah.
Mind my own business. Just do what I gotta do and get out. And that was my mentality. I don't understand why anybody would want to stand out in general.
Yeah.
You know, the people that stand out are typically the ones that stand out.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't get that. I don't get why anybody would want to afflict it.
Why they'd want to be on such a power trip, pretty much.
Yeah,
I think it goes to the whole mindset, because prison is a completely different world. Being incarcerated, there's different rules and stuff. You know, we don't have out here. We don't understand that kind of shit. But in there, it makes perfect sense for some fucking reason. But I think the guards get swept up in it too. And they have to always be shown. It's like how when I was taking my criminal justice classes, my patrol procedures professor, it's like, it's all about that command presence, mm-hmm. and letting everyone know you are in charge. Mm-hmm. And some people, they just take that a little too far.
Yeah, I could see people. You know, Rogan said something that was kind of interesting on his podcast. Was I think it was jiu-jitsu. He thinks that officers should be like a certain belt in jiu-jitsu and know how to.
Absolutely.
And I was like, that's actually not a bad idea.
No.
That's actually because I've been trying to think, like, okay, reform. We talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
How do you reform? What do you do? And I was really thinking about that. Like, okay, we can't defund the police, but how do you reform it? And then when he said that, I was like, that's actually brilliant. You know, showing them how to actually take down somebody without fear that you get to wrestle them.
Yeah.
You know, I've always thought that. Prejudice aside, like, put it aside. Officers should have either an annual or a biannual physical, and you have to either
Absolutely.
be able to run a certain distance for a certain amount of time with your gear on.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be tested and go through all like an endurance test.
Yeah.
You know, and then once your endurance level drops, that's when you need to be more low level civil suit type, areas, where you have them go deliver subpoenas or they serve people.
Exactly. I mean, our military has to constantly be doing PT tests to make sure that they're still in physical shape. Well, it blows my mind that once they get out of the police academy, there's no more training required.
Oh, on Pluto TV, they have a cops channel, and I always put on cops in the background just because it's fun to kind of just have on the background. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you'll see like locals, anyways. But I'll see a foot chase, right? And dude gets out of his car, I mean, just moving his gut around the steering wheel, and I'm like, you're about to chase this dude down?
Yeah.
That the camera guy's outrunning you and running backwards like he's Deion Sanders.
Yeah.
Filming you. Like, this is ridiculous. And that's what I mean. Like, we'll look at it from when you go to apply for a job, right? Mm-hmm. And if it requires you, remember that question? Can you, or if this job requires you to carry anything or lift anything over 40 to 100 pounds on basic duties?
Yeah.
Can you require this? Yes or no? Or, can you? So, if we can do that, why should we not hold officers to like a PT test?
Yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely right. I mean, it's a training issue. That's what I wholeheartedly believe it is. It's a training issue. You can't expect someone to go through such a short time in an academy and to just be set for a 20-year career after that. You have to constantly train in situations.
Agreed.
It's like our SEALs. Look at how much training our Navy SEAls go through.
You know how much training goes involved just in one mission?
Yeah.
Or just planning?
Yeah.
In general? Yeah, you're 100% right. So if anything, here comes the argument. Is it really defunding or is it more funding? Because then they need more funding for the training.
It's more. Actually, I think it's allocating the funding.
Okay.
Where the funding is going. Your small town, like a Galt Police Department, I don't know if they have anything. I'm just using Galt as a small town as an example. They don't need troop carriers. They don't need this big, huge shit like that. You're not going to deal with that, and you're so close to a giant metropolitan city that if you had to bring in backup, like you need some serious backup, they can come in. Just reallocate those funds. And, I don't even want to get too far into this, but where's a lot of the money really going?
Right.
Yes.
Well, I think that if they're going to train these guys and they're going to make it a requirement to have some sort of like jiu-jitsu background or the ability to take somebody down or PT tests annually or biannually or anything, I'm all for giving them more money. Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely right. I'm just saying, I think that...
Because you know what comes with jiu-jitsu and stuff like that?
Discipline.
And respect.
Yep.
And
absolutely.
Most of those people that go through that type of training have the respect. Like, I know I can take you to the ground. I know I can whoop your ass. I'm choosing not to right now.
I know if I leave my knee on your neck for this long, it's probably going to kill you because that's a pressure point, and I'm not going to use that hold.
And be totally just be like distracted by everybody looking around me, and I know, yep.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely. Other these people are like, oh, defund the police. Like, you guys want to go back to the Wild West? I mean, I got guns. I'm totally comfortable with that.
People are. Have you seen those videos of those people fighting back, like Antifa? Like literally getting like there's crowds. We're almost breaching a mini civil war as it is. And I watched a few videos. I was like, whoa, because there's some people, some veterans, war veterans that are all ganging up and going at these protests to protest them.
Yeah,
and they're getting into it. It was bound to happen.
Well, yeah, it's going to happen, especially if you look at what Antifa's doing a lot of the time, like running around just smacking people with bike locks and shit like that. That ain't cool. Of course, somebody needs to do something about it, especially when you have, like, the city of Portland telling their police department to stand down and just pretty much let them fucking have it at it at the city. Well, what do you think is going to happen? Are they?
Well, there's people taking them, and they're scooping these people up, but they're also like interrogating them. They're like, hey, they're just trying to get to the bottom of a terrorist act, and they're probably scooping up. The majority of the people that they're scooping up are probably just tag-alongs that are going to these protests or that have gotten real active on social media or whatever. But to be honest, like, if there's some serious terrorism going on and they're scooping them up and they're catch and releasing these other ones, like, then what are you worried about? They're after people who mean serious harm. Then if they're just catching and releasing people that are releasing statements about their experiences. So it's getting close to the Wild West, man. You're not wrong. That's another reason why I'm over going outside. I just want to go home.
Same.
It's nice to have a conversation. It's nice to have these types of back and forths, but it seems like this is the only thing we have to talk about. My wife and I were just saying that too. She was just like, can we talk about anything else? And I'm like, there's nothing else.
There's nothing else going on. There's no sports.
Like, we talk about movies.
Politics is dominated by this, and fuck that shit anyway.
Oh my god! I'm waiting for this election just to be over one way or another.
I know, and you're saying we don't even have any movies to look forward to.
Nope.
Damn it.
Nothing.
It's funny because remember that old.
But we're also trying to work.
That Julius Caesar's quote. That Julius Caesar quote. Give them bread and circus, and they'll never riot.
Yeah, you said that. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, we don't have no bread or no circus, and now everybody's losing their fucking minds.
Everybody's losing their minds. The lakes are just packed. They're packed full of people.
Oh yeah, I was thinking about going to one last weekend.
Rivers are packed.
Yeah, no.
We found a secret spot.
I saw you guys post that the other day. It's like, that place looks dope.
Oh, it's a trek, but that's why it's a secret. Like,
those are the best spots.
Right back to him. He asked, "Where is that?" And I ignored it, but I was gonna message him like, if I were to tell you, the locals would kill me.
Right.
You know, type of
yeah,
thing.
it's
like,
one of those things.
It's if it got out because of how packed we are, because of city people coming up, how packed everything is. Like we have a big issue with people flooding up here. We're about to get shut down again. We're real close. The patio dining is just fucking retarded, man.
Yeah, I won't even try that. I'll just pick my shit up and go home.
People are still doing it. People are buying Walmart pop-ups and putting them out in front of IHOP and stuff.
That's crazy.
It's everywhere. I had to go to SAC to get our car back from the mechanic. And, yeah, it's everywhere. I'm over it.
Same.
Oh.
And I've been wanting to do a trip this year because my Lost Coast trip got canceled. And so I'm trying to look at everywhere, and now everywhere's starting to shut down again.
I'll take you to that little spot.
Yeah.
No, I'll show you that little spot. You just
I'm
treat it
down.
with some respect. That's all.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't want to tell a soul about it either.
We took a few friends out there, and I messaged them and was like, hey, no. You know, like that's... Because there's a spot that's up here that's very well known, and we're having thousands of people coming to that spot. And the other place, the secret spot that I know of, it's like 20 times better than the popular spot that's flooded.
Nice.
So if that got out...
Yeah, everybody would be going over there. No.
Yeah. So
I won't tell a soul either. I respect the shit out of a private place. Because there used to be a place in Harold where you could go fish for salmon. In Harold.
Really?
Big fucking monsters, dude. And it was a local secret for a long time. We'd go down there and you just throw your line in the water, dude, and they're gobbling it up. Just reel them right back up on the shore. And word got out. Next thing you know, some idiot goes down there with a 12 gauge, starts blasting salmon.
That's all it takes is one.
Pissed all the farmers off. But then Fish and Game didn't get this. This is right before the salmon levels were a few years ago. Remember the salmon levels were so low they banned salmon fishing in California. This was like right before that. Fish and Game didn't know salmon ran up that creek in Harold until that asshole went out there with his fucking 12 gauge. So now,
all it takes is
that whole creek is protected. The farmers don't let anyone back there anymore. And I grew up going back there all the time. Remember Clinton Meadows?
Yep.
Yeah, it was right behind his house, dude. We'd go back there all the fucking time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but now, nope, can't go there no more. So yeah, I'm all about keeping the secret spot secret.
Yeah, no, it takes, and that's what I mean. It's like, when we were out there, I shouldn't even say it. I wanted to beat the living crap out of this dude, but I had my kids with me.
Yeah.
I wanted to stab this dude's tires, and I'll tell you why. We went out there and we were leaving, and this car rolls up, right? First thing it does before you even see the reverse lights before it goes into the park is out the window trash.
Oh my god.
Cups.
I cannot fucking stand it
when
people do that.
Okay, and I'm literally going, what are my options here? You know, because
Yeah.
we're way out nowhere. And I'm like looking in the car trying to figure out how many are in there. And I was just pissed because it's like, that's our spot. You know, we're taking the kids and stuff there. And
that's how you get those spots closed off where no one else can go there.
That's why I don't want to tell anybody.
Yeah.
Specifically
Exactly.
I don't want to say anything.
Smart.
Because we need it. Right, especially right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's why when I posted the videos, dude, I was so proud. I was such a proud dad that day. My oldest, balls on that kid, man, jumping off those cliffs.
Oh, I know, dude. I wouldn't jump off those fucking cliffs.
I would.
I don't like heights though.
See, my wife doesn't, and she went off one way lower, and it took her about 30 minutes just to decide to jump. And
that would have been me.
3 seconds. 3 seconds. Excuse me. I filmed the first one, and our friend was showing them where to jump, and she jumps, and I'm literally filming it. I film her jump, and she comes up, and I go 1,000, 2,000, and my son just goes, just
went for it.
I was like, "That's my boy," you know?
Hell
like, yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, these aren't bad. Usually, once an IPA gets below a certain temperature or above a certain temperature,
right,
can't fuck with it no more. But these are almost room temperature. That's still pretty
I
good.
have to have them when they're ice cold.
Same.
I can't do. Not unless I'm like fucking wasted.
Yeah,
you know, can I
same.
do something like that?
Usually, I can't even drink those dark beers unless I'm already fucking wasted.
I know.
It's like tequila. If you ever see me shooting tequila, dude, cut me the fuck off.
I can do tequila. I can get down on some tequila.
Oh, not me.
That was Gabby and I met on tequila. That was we have a favorite tequila. That was good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, well,
What was it? Asteroids are coming to get us.
asteroids.
The government said the aliens are real. Well, UFOs are real.
That's you're not supposed to say that.
But they did. They said it, and everything is so crazy that no one really paid attention to it.
I can't deal with it.
No.
I'm over it.
That's what I'm saying. I need to get away. I've been thinking about going to the Eastern Sierras or up to Trinity just to get away from people. Go on a good 3-4 day hike and just
this is forcing us to
reset.
think. Like, we literally thought, okay, if this isn't gonna change, because I've reached out to some of my other friends that are in other states that are more, I hate to say it, but conservative.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they're like, we're fine over here.
Yeah.
Like, we're good. There's nothing going on. Everybody's fine. Nobody's really enforcing much, but everybody's being respectful, and our numbers are low.
Yeah.
So we've been thinking about like a trip out to Missouri or something like that.
There you go.
Trying to
Let's
get an
check it out.
Airbnb for a week or something. But I don't know, either that. But I do know, especially up here, because it's a hot vacation spot for a lot of people, real estate's hot.
Mm-hmm.
Real estate's hot because people that are in the city are actually starting to buy up places so that they can just come up here to vacation or get away. So you know what I actually think is going to start happening is I think you know that old school mentality. It was kind of like our parents' age, where going to your summer cabin or a summer spot for a while, like a cabin or a vacation spot. I think that's going to become more popular because of this COVID shit, because everybody is literally trying to do that anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So now people with money or with a little bit of financial backing are going, can I pick up a vacation spot and just to go there anyways?
Yeah.
You know, this was kind of nice. Like what we talked about last time is it's kind of forced people to do board games and stay inside, a lot more family activities. I kind of think there's going to be a resurgence of these little lake and vacation towns.
Timeshares and stuff like that getting more and more popular.
Probably not timeshares, but literally buying up little vacation places. Even if friends go in on it like half or 3 ways, you know, it's like, hey, everybody's got a spot.
Yeah, a friend of mine just hit me up the other day about, man, we really need to just stop talking about it and go get a big plot of land up in the hills and start a commune. I was like, yeah, that's a great idea, you know.
It's always a good idea on paper.
Yeah, but then, you get up
deal
there.
with other people, you know?
deal with other people. Not only that, but all the land up in those types of places that are cheap to get is undeveloped. So you're going to have to rely on someone trucking your water up, you know.
Yeah, unless you can find a well.
Unless you can find a well. And if I'm moving up to the mountains, I'm going somewhere where I probably can't get a well. So I want to go way the fuck up there.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
I say that now, but then I watch me get a place like that and die my first winter out there.
Being far away from people seems to be right.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking.
I can't. Harsh winters. That's where you got to kind of try to stay away from.
Yeah.
What you were saying is that's.
Well, my buddies, or not my buddy, my brother-in-law, yeah. His sister, his sister and her fiance, I think it was a couple of years ago, they bought a plot of land up in Montana.
Uh-huh.
They said it's beautiful. It's
Montana's
perfect.
Gorgeous.
They love it up there.
I was in Montana last year.
I've never been.
2 years ago. It's gorgeous. I was in there in the winter though. I would love to see it in the spring. But when I saw it, it was covered in snow. But it was still gorgeous. Mm-hmm. In fact, we just went to Bridgeport. We took the kids up to Bridgeport, and I haven't seen skyline or like mountain ridges like that since Montana. Like Bridgeport's gorgeous.
Yeah. So,
if you ever want to escape, go up there and just check it out. Go for a drive. It's a drive. It's a trek. Mm-hmm. Sonora Pass is no joke. I'm pretty sure that's what broke
I've been up there before.
Our transmission.
Yeah, my Charger's pushing 200,000 miles right now. I'm thinking if I take any trips, I'm renting a car.
Yeah, but that's awesome little spot. I was like, whoa, this is gorgeous. Mm-hmm. It feels like you're not even in California anymore. It really does.
That's how my family used to go camping in this spot all the time back in the day called Hope Valley. It's right up by.
I think I've heard of it.
It used to be the most beautiful, secluded place that we used to go yearly. We'd go up there and do a family little camping trip.
I miss that stuff.
We took like a 10-year break from going up there, and we went up there I think 2 years ago. It's completely ruined now. Everybody knows where it's at. Campgrounds are all full. There's people. It's one of those types of places. It's BLM land, so you can literally park on the side of the road and set up camp if you want to. You just have to have a fire permit, and there's some areas that are fenced off for wilderness that you can't bring a motorized vehicle in. But even those spots were taken. It was like, dude, this place sucks now.
That's very popular in Oregon, and Great Lake, best lake I've ever camped at. And I don't want to say it out loud because keep it a secret.
Oregon,
my friends in Oregon don't even know. They haven't even heard about it. But it's always, you have to book it a year in advance because people will go there. And they all kind of keep it a secret. But one of the best lakes ever for boating, if you don't have a boat, it's perfect. Everything has a beach area, great spot.
That's what's up.
Anyways, but yeah, I miss those days though. I miss going with families and camping. I really miss that family atmosphere where everybody kind of camps around with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't see it very often.
No, especially these days.
I think it's going to come back though.
Yeah, I hope so.
It's all that's left. I mean, there's nothing else open.
As long as everybody stays away from the backpacking trails I'm trying to go on, just leave that for me.
Good luck, dude.
I know.
It's everywhere.
Everywhere. Like I was saying last time, we tried to get new permits to Lost Coast because they canceled ours, booked until December. It's like, who the hell hikes on the beach in December?
I'm over it. I'm over it. All the laws, all the rules, the regulations, it's all bullshit to me.
Same.
It's
like I said earlier, I'm this close to just deactivating social media.
What? Just do whatever you want to do anyways.
Yeah.
I mean, what the hell? Just call it a protest. You'll be fine.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
exactly. Just say I'm protesting.
I'm protesting you right now.
I think, I can't remember who it was, but some metal band actually did that. They went and set up and played a show, and they said, "Oh, we're protesting."
Yeah, good.
We're protesting with our music, and hundreds of people showed up. I can't remember. I think it was some unknown band, some local band somewhere did that, and they had a bunch of people show up. And
that's why I say, hey, if you're in California, you're drunk in public, and an officer's about to arrest you, just say you're homeless. You'll be fine. They'll let you go.
Yeah. Or what you could also tell them. I learned this in my DUI class. I am an addict and I need help immediately. If you tell them that, they can't take you to jail. They take you to the hospital. Yep.
Is that real?
That is real. That is real. I swear to God. At least that's what I learned in my DUI class.
So we grew up with somebody. I'm not gonna say their name because I don't know if I can get them on yet or not. But we grew up with somebody whose father's an officer, and I really respect him as an individual and his opinions. I think he's got a level head on his shoulders, and both him and his wife. I'd really like to have them both come in because I want to pick their brains. He's retired now, but I'd like to pick their brains from their perspective of what's going on.
Right. With
all this crap.
I don't want to say his name, but what is his name? What's the letter start with?
A.
Oh, okay, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. So I respect that family a lot, and it's just somebody who I think would probably have a good equal perspective.
I completely forgot about that dude until you just said that. I was like, oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll see if I can have him and his wife on because she's got some good insight. They're always she's always posting stuff that I agree with, for the most part. But I would love to just honestly have their perspective of what's going on and what needs to be done. Because like what we were saying, like, okay, if you're going to reform officers, then why not make it mandatory for a jiu-jitsu?
Yeah.
Some sort of belt in that.
Some sort of martial arts training. Something
I'd like to hear
deal with.
I'd like to hear his take. Maybe he's got something that we're not seeing. I'd like to honestly hear from him what his feelings are about something like that. And how that would have benefited his unit.
Yeah.
If they would have had something like that. Anyways. Other than that, all right, buddy. Well,
alrighty.
Cheers. Thank you for the beer.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure as usual.
Always.